I broke off from a friend group I've known for 7 years over a tab at Chili's. I, 20F, have been friends with these two girls, Charlie, 20F, and Alex, 19F. We have been very close since middle school and get along and fangirl over the same anime, K-pop bands, artists, etc. One day we decided to go to our favorite spot, Chili's. We always separate the bill and there are zero issues. However, Alex decides they want to invite a male friend, John, 18M, which is fine with all of us. The food was good per usual. Then the server asks for split or one check. Then Charlie, who usually says it's separate every time we go out and eat, says, all one, which I thought it was just her feeling generous that day. But then they started giving John shit, eating grins. Charlie said, Joan, you're paying for us all just to be clear. John says what, with a visible confusion on his face. Alex and Charlie giggle, get up, and they leave. They signaled me to go as well, but I was just as confused as John was. WTF just happened. Me and John sit there awkwardly. The check comes to $125, and I tell the server to give us a moment to provide payment. I only had enough for me, $30, and John only has enough for him, $40. Charlie texted in our group chat asking if I was coming with them. I told them, WTF are they doing? Then they went on some BS that John should want to impress us, and that it's a man's role to treat as like princesses or some BS. I thought they were joking, but they were dead serious, and upon me going outside to physically confront them, they were serious, because they left me and John with no ride and the tab. I called my dad if he could spare me $60 and that he can just cut off my allowance for 2 weeks. I explained the situation, but he agreed with Alex and Charlie and said that this is John's problem now and not mine. It was like scene out of a movie. I was in complete disbelief. I explained the situation to the server, who was super cool and said if you can't produce the payment now, I can just leave a number and they can charge me tomorrow. Out of one last-ditch effort, I called my uncle for the money, and he immediately understood and sent me the money, and even said he would be there to pick me and John up. I pay the tab. I apologize heavily to John about the entire situation, but he was actually really chill and super grateful for what I was doing, because he only had $40 from his birthday money, and decided to spend it with his friends. I get a text from Alex in the group chat asking if John paid for the tab. I said no, I did, and got mad at me. Then my dad asked what had happened. I tell him the truth, that his brother paid for the tab, and he got mad at me. Do I live in the Twilight Zone? Am I crazy for not wanting to ruin a friend's life over Chili's? Anyways, after Alex saying I'm just not going to invite guys to our plans anymore, I left the group chat and blocked both Alex and Charlie. John also cut ties with them, and we have started talking more and more, and we sometimes play Fortnite together. Anyways, moral of the story, you think you know someone. Relevant comments. Jummy B 1982. Your friends and your dad are completely assholes. John was under no obligation to pay for anyone but himself. To assume he is going to pay for everyone is just beyond me. Glad you had the class to stay and help with the bill. I would have told the waitress to split it 4 ways after those 2 dolts walked put. Then give the restaurant their information so they can be responsible for their own meals. OOP. I was considering many options, but my main thing was I didn't want to make a giant scene in front of someone I don't even know. Easier options first, then harder ones. In reality, this probably would have been the smarter option. Affectionate Salt 351. I don't blame you. In the heat of the moment, I would have done the same as you. IDK if you've just spent a lot of time with your uncle or what, but I'm happy his sense of morality rubbed off on you instead of your father's. Yikes. You're not wrong. This is def some Twilight Zone shit. Unfortunately, people can always surprise you with things like this. I'm still learning more about others like this in my 30s. Good for you and John for becoming friends. He sounds like a good egg too. OP. My uncle said, and I quote while he was driving us back home, he can treat me like shit all he wants, but when he starts treating you guys like shit is where I have no choice but to get involved. Xandrew Stouter 7. Your ex-friends are idiots and are on the road to a rude awakening of they think guys will put up with that kind of crap. You were right to cut them out. Your dad is a tool. How old is your dad? Because that's some boomer level thinking right there in his part. It would have been one thing if the guy had invited you all out and offered to pay, then reneged on that promise. But that's not what happened. This was sprung on him unexpectedly. So your dad is way of the mark with this. Yeah. I'm glad you at least found a replacement friend for the 2 idiots, and your uncle is a real one. Next chance you're able, you should do something nice for him as a thank you for helping. Maybe treat him to lunch or bring him a favorite sweet. Nothing big, just something to show your appreciation for coming to your rescue like that when he didn't have to. OP. My dad's in his late 40s and he said that it's not your problem, my name, so why the hell should it be mine? Not to throw him under the bus, but he has a huga crush on a particular man who is orange. OOP added edits to answer repeated questions. Edit. I should probably empathize that me and John didn't even know each other before this happened. Second edit. Yes, I am 20 and still get a $50 weekly allowance. I am actively looking for work. Some of you guys are antagonizing my dad, but yet want to act like mine for not working. Third edit. People are asking why I didn't just pay for my own tab, give them my friends' numbers or addresses, and call the police yada dad. Is that what I should have done? 100%. But I felt like John was already visibly stressed about the situation, and I didn't want to escalate it to potentially more stress. I was thinking about John's well-being above everything. And having someone else cover the rest of the money was the easiest solution for me. Probably not the right one, but the easiest for me and John. OOP updates July 12, 2024. Next day, same post. Update. Me and John still play Fortnite and have been dabbling in Overwatch as well. He's actually a very funny guy who is open about his feelings. If we continue to connect this, I may ask him a proper date this go around. Through some casual friends, I learned that Alex and Charlie think I'm overreacting and the same BS as before. That John should have wanted to impress us and that John should have had more money knowing he was going out to eat with 3 girls. Shocker.